start.
Good evening. It's time for the nighttime heat. On the nighttime heat, we discussed trending national developments. My name is David Tagbert, and this is the Prime. This is on Prime FM 105.5. The nighttime heat is also on Facebook and on YouTube. Just type nighttime heat and share the program with your friends and family members. Today is Wednesday, right? Today's Wednesday, the fifth day of August 2026. We have a lot to talk about yet very interesting developments in our country, Liberia. Desmond Wion is already here as he's one of the panelists, and we look forward to seeing the arrival of Josh Kennedy and hopefully Edwin Famule, and I hope that Moses will join us from the United States. What are we talking about? And I guess that's what you're thinking about now. We're talking about the ongoing investigation into Josh Kennedy has just turned in. And so shortly I'll be welcoming Josh and Desmond Wion. But we're talking about ongoing investigation in recently confiscated more than $300 million worth of cocaine in our country. A lot of persons, a lot of guys or individuals have been arrested in connection to that incident. And discussions have been taking place about whether or not those who've been arrested as suspects should be tried or prosecuted in Liberia or in other parts of the country or other parts of the world. I mean, men are talking about the United States, that it be tried in the United States and not in Liberia because we don't have the sophistication to handle such a sensitive drug problem. So we'll be talking about that as one of our topics here. And a private entertainment owner is also under the spotlight. His name is Harris. What's his name? His name is Harris. Harris has also been charged, arrested and charged, and is currently under the custody of the Liberia National Police. We'll be talking about this. The African Development Bank has patted Liberia on the back. It says Liberia is doing well in terms of its economy, that the economy is growing. Liberia's economy is growing, you know. So we also be talking about that here on this edition of the Nighttime Heat. My name is David Tagbert, and this is Prime FM 105.5. And the Nighttime Heat is also on YouTube and Facebook. Gentlemen, welcome. Desmond, let me start with you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, thank you. I think it's much better now. So yes, good evening.
So welcome. Yeah.
Thank you, David. Thank you, and thanks for the sacrifices that you continue to make, especially filling in the seat of Mr. Super George, and we hope that things get better by God's own, timing, that Super can rejoin us on the show. And good evening to our many listeners, our viewers. It is because of them that we always come on the show because. Giving democracy access to information is a fundamental human right. So we will always do what we gotta do, as part of contributing to the national discourse of our country. I'd like to give it up for our technical, crew, especially our brother Ibrahim Denti, and my co-panelist, Mr. Josh Kennedy. I mean, within the prevailing circumstances, he's always on the show. I mean, he just recovered from his a protracted era, period of illness, I mean, it's great. He's one of those committed folks of the nighttime heat. So I want to say it's great tonight, and we look forward to having a very fire-burning conversation.
Okay, Desmond, and that's absolutely what it would be, fire burn, and the fact that you're here. Josh, welcome.
I don't know what about English is meant to be using protracted.
Period of illness.
There's a difference between brief and protracted. I was not sick on a protracted basis.
It was a brief illness.
Yeah, so please.
So now you say you clarifying it now.
Yeah,
so
so
it's nothing wrong with that.
No, something wrong. They made the person stay long. Right. So the thing is, just say he wasn't well. Speak for other people to understand you. It's always good. Anyway, thank you, Mr.
Man, I can't give away 40 minutes.
Mr. Tagwe. Yes.
For
For sitting in there for Mr. George, who is taking care of some family business. And that's what a good husband does. When the wife is down and needs you near her, that's the time for you to be there. You shouldn't be the kind of husband that will not be there when the wife needs you. That's why I respect Sasabo Joshua, because that's what I do. So I always advise other young
And
people.
I hope that William does that.
All the young people.
David, why can't you talk about yourself?
My
When
man.
you get your wife,
Uh-huh.
always be there.
Allow Mr. Kennedy to land. So welcome again, gentlemen, and welcome to our many listeners and viewers, wherever you are. This is the nighttime heat. We are on 105.5 Prime FM, and we also on Facebook, and we are also on YouTube. Just type nighttime heat, get the program, and share with your family members and friends to be a part of it. And gentlemen, we're still talking about this remains a topical issue wherever you go across Liberia, not only in Liberia, not only in Monrovia, at intellectual centers, wherever on Maryland, Grand Crew. This is what people are talking about now. The ongoing investigation about this over 300 million worth of cocaine How did it come to the country? Who brought it? How did it enter? I mean, so the investigations are going on. Already, several persons have been arrested and have some have been charged and have to subsequently be forwarded to court. And as far as we're concerned, there hasn't been any agreement between the Liberian government and any other country about the suspects being prosecuted in or outside Liberia. And that's the newest development. That's what people are talking about now. It is in the newspapers. It's been discussed on many talk shows. So the question is, should the suspects that we're talking about be tried in Liberia or outside of Liberia? There's so many, there are two school of thoughts. There are other Liberians who are saying that, look, Liberia doesn't have the sophistication. It doesn't have the trained manpower in terms of the issue of drug trafficking, across the world. Drug traffickers, they have the millions of dollars, whatever they need. They even have weapons. So one school of thought is if they are tried in Liberia or taken to court or prosecuted in Liberia, there's a possibility that they may use the millions they have to escape the country by bribing those who are supervising or in charge or having oversight on them. There are others who saying that, look, Liberia is an independent country, let them be tried here. There are reports that the USDA is asking us.
We could take these guys there and try them, they honor our law. They won't be tried under American laws. All right? Because they committed a crime in Liberia. They'll be tried under Liberian laws. Their prison facilities were secure. They got the technology, they got everything. More than us. So if even we try these guys and found them guilty and place them behind bars in our country, looking at how prison officers and some senior police officers have been tampered with and they've been arrested in the process. These guys can do anything, even if you carry needles right through. It could even be the worst place. I also said last night that I'm worried that even if care is not taken, the guys will break loose at the jail, at the Monrovia Central Prison because they got the money.
Yeah.
They put in the money. They got the contacts. They put in the contact. So if that's the case where the U.S. government, we're hearing it's not confirmed yet, is pushing for this, I think we should take advantage of it. No, I don't want any other country other than Europeans or in the United States. Because if you carry the man to Shalom, or you carry to Nigeria, guys, they can bypass any system in the sub-Saharan Africa. In all fairness, I can tell you that.
So you agree with other Liberians who say that they should be prosecuted outside of Liberia?
And it should be done under our laws. Anywhere they carry them,
they should be done under our laws.
Yes. Because Liberian laws.
So this is not about deviating from the topic.
Yeah.
But was it the case of some war criminals, Liberian war criminals, who were prosecuted in other countries?
Yeah.
Because of the.
Mr. Taylor was prosecuted under Sierra Leone law through a Sierra Leone court.
Okay.
The international court that was set up for Sierra Leone. They were prosecuted like that. They even though they use international laws, but Sierra Leone law was applied because he allegedly committed a crime in Sierra Leone against the people of Sierra Leone.
And not in Liberia. So he couldn't have been prosecuted
in Liberia.
On a Liberian. So, Mr. William, what do you stand on this? Do you agree with Liberians, your fellow Liberians who say, who are suggesting that the drug suspects, drug trafficking suspects should be prosecuted in Liberia or outside Liberia?
Well, so with the many different views from citizens, I'm supporting the fact that given the reason for which our country, our entire system is technically, I mean, one could describe as just worthless. And it is not entirely as to the issue about Labrador. No, Labrador does not have, what we call the facility to contain this suspect. It is not so. Look, there have been other drug suspects. In fact, I was just reading just today. A lady I mean, she's being convicted. A case was concluded, Kuta Dolo, and she's being sentenced. I read there's no 5 years imprisonment. They came and read to that sub there. But what has appeared, for which I too want to believe that there's a need that these suspects be taken to America, is not on the ground that Labrador does not have cells to contain the no, as my co-panelists lamented. It is on the basis of the fact that the system is just worthless. Because just imagine investigation is ongoing, not full adjudication, investigation is ongoing. Elements of the investigation, are being compromised. That's troubling. So it demonstrates even to our partners, not the issue about Labrador does not have pressing cell to contain these people. What it demonstrates bigger is the fact that we may not even have the will to even make sure to sustain the claims against the individuals when taken to court.
So in short, I agree with those who say they should be prosecuted outside.
I agree with that call on the basis of Labrador system is just worthless. Not on the basis of Labrador does not have prison compound as being talked about by my co-panelist, does not have prison compound to contain.
Trust worthless. Simplify that. I mean, let the ordinary person understand what you're talking about.
There is not absolutely, that trust in the justice system.
Okay.
Labrador, if you do an opinion poll, there are damning reports about the judiciary. With the much evidence-based case of last administration, where you saw the folks went to the court and they walked free. So that alone demonstrates that the system is not it's just worthless. It's not about the issue we don't have prison compound. That disregard that. That's all. I mean, it's a trivial issue. They say, Labrador does not have prison compound to contain. These guys are two persons. You want to mean if they alone can fit, there are no what we call specialized cells for inmates at Amara Central Prison for hardcore criminals? Of course, there are cells there. So it is not an issue about Labrador does not have cells to contain them. It is not also about the issue about Labrador does not have applicable laws to prosecute them. It is not the issue. What is the issue is the world power, the ability for the state to pursue the case, vote of interference, to make sure that they present the pieces of evidence before the court. These people will be, adjudicated, let's say be or prosecuted, and better still, if they are found liable of the crime, and be sentenced to jail. But in the judicial system we have in the country, can we give that exclusive trust with the petty things we have seen all around the place about our judiciary? With the most talked about 100 million worth of stuff, what happened right on our scene watch with our scene judiciary. So these are some of the reasons for which I personally agree that this guy should be prosecuted out of the country. So that is not the basis of we don't have prison compound as being talked about by my co-panelists. That is trivial. You understand? So, like for the question, so I think that's my opening comments on this Abednego issue.
Desmond, even in the Western world, I mean, the drug laws who broke prison through several means. Then what's about Liberia?
So that is the same thing.
So what's about Liberia?
So that is why.
You're wrong to say that it's trivial. Because Even in the well advanced countries, we've heard about drug. I think you heard about El Chapo. I think from Brazil or Colombia, one of the countries. El Chapo would escape jail, passing through a tunnel to escape prison, passing through the you know using men to dig underground, using the channel to escape. So what's about Liberia?
So
Such an advanced country. If a man like El Chapo, I think you've heard about that over that time you were stay in Grand Crew County.
so David, as you asked the question,
Mhm.
is a simple answer. The case of which you're referencing,
Mhm.
that cannot be applicable in this case, provided if our system is effective, provided if our men are uncompromising. So I'm saying to you, for the fact that it has been proven that Liberian security, agents are like the possible of being compromised, because we've seen what is happening. That is the contentious issue. Forget about the infrastructure to say, because look, I'm not senior person, see that. I can tell you, if the government is intentional to pursue this case, that person and all of those what we call accompanying.
So if the government is intentional, I'm quoting you,
Mhm.
if the government is intentional
To prosecute the case in the country.
So are you suggesting is that the government isn't intentional?
That is not also what my
No, that what it implies. If
So,
you say
David, I'm
if the
speaking-
government is intentional, that implies that the government is not intentional. Okay, I will come back to you.
No, you see, you just make a judgment, and then you don't want me to provide clarity.
I will
You go.
come back to you.
Okay.
I will come back to you.
On something, then you get problem. We are clear right here on the show. Everybody listening, look, this is the first time, as I said, to see hardcore criminals in prison, and they are fighting to be given preferential treatment. They're getting that amount of money to give to senior police officer and a warden at a prison, and giving them phone to call for $25,000 to come. It tells you that prisoner is the high class prisoner that needs to be somewhere that access to him will be very limited. You see, by just ordinary officer. Now, in our system, if we keep the man to Central Prison, that the same people will be there. If we keep the man to Zoedru, our highest prison right now, since Berayela, the same people will be there. If you carry in the Bon County, that the same people will be there. All right? So we are saying it's not about the structure, physical structure that we're looking at, as somebody trying to literally understand. Prison is prison. They put you in this Prime FM room here, they lock you up, you can't go outside. They say you can't go outside at prison.
Yeah.
You're in prison. So when somebody talking about prison, we should look at it from open-minded point of view. All right. So these guys, they have strong international connections. They are not Liberians. So we are suggesting, I'm one of the people suggesting, I'm not trying to honorate or undermine our judicial system. They will be tried under our laws, not American judges that will be trying them. They will be tried by our judges using our laws. All right? When the venue will change, all right, venue will change, and I don't know what any system exists between us and the US in that case. If at all there is a system that exists between us, we need to look at that carefully and try to consider it. For me, that's how I look at it. When it comes to the issue of using our laws and other things to find out, Japan is in prison. This lady quit her. She confessed to her crime. She's been sentenced to 5 years. Other people are in prison for the drugs, but they are not high risk compared to these guys that we talking about. I say when I talk about these, I talk about these two guys mostly. And, so let's understand from that perspective. All right, that's why we're here. I mean, I don't want to be misquoted repeatedly and have to come back to clarify on something. Yeah.
So David, as I said, if the government is intentional to prosecute the case, has the case ended? So I spoke English, and you want me to say the government is intentional? No, I cannot be the spokesperson for government either. So I'm saying, look, Liberia, if for any reason, if the government again is intentional enough to prosecute this drug case with those foreign nationals, they can do that in the country without creating extra financial burden on the state, to take the people elsewhere for prosecution. I'm saying to you, we know there are risks, but the risk can be curtailed. How? The risk is that about our security personnel. Do all of these things and make sure you set up a very clear roadmap that look, this case, and there should be a serious, drastic penalty actions even towards officers. Apart from the just random dismissal or suspension, and later on you can't hear anything about that. So what I'm saying to you,
Desmond. How will you say that people being arrested or randomly arrested, but you don't hear anything?
Sis,
No.
you asking
People have been arrested, charged, and expected to go to court.
I'm saying, I'm not talking about the suspect. I'm saying our security personnel who have been allegedly linked to the crime, and we saw how the president took actions. This action the president took, like with the case of Johnny Bolade, it's been almost 3 weeks now. Since the police RG announced that the young man has been before the professional standard for investigation, have you got all the updates on that? I know you said the investigation is still ongoing. I know that is why you're going to say it smartly. But I'm saying to you that look, the government can still be intentional to prosecute these people here without investing heavily the taxpayer money out there. How does that happen? I just gave you some of the roadmap. Make sure you set up a plan. Those who are responsible to maintain these guys, if they are convicted, meaning they are being prosecuted, if they are convicted and then taken to court, those who are responsible to secure the prison compound for whatever reason that may likely compromise them, the government should address that. And we just said some of the things that can be the reason for these people being compromised. It is the fact of being unpaid. So if the government will say, look, because of the case, we're going to create what we call drastic reform. All of the prison officers, those who've been making probably below 200 or 250, we're going to make sure we increase your money to a certain level. And the reason you're laughing, right? But these are how reforms can come about. There is no specific time. This precedent case can bring about serious reform within our judicial sector with much emphasis at the prison. So I'm saying that the government shouldn't create much burden on the state resources, taking the people here and there to go prosecute them. It's just about the insecurity and the lack of trust in their own system. That is just what we are. Go ahead.
I think I say this finally on this, and I think maybe we can transition before you can go ahead with it. Look, we're not looking at trying this guy just for the trial period, the time will be in jail when they are tried. You see, good to understand beyond this thing. If you are to convey these guys, the same risks that exist right now still exist no matter which prison you put them in Liberia. They could use anybody phone to maneuver. We've heard about jailbreaks in Banga, we
Yeah.
have a Bonkante, we have a jailbreak, Israel, we have a jailbreak all over. We can't be going up and down on something that is real before our eyes. We have challenges that we need to settle with our security system, with our security, the whole infrastructure, the manpower, a lot of other things, not only salary. I said here last night, we who get financial background, a rogue is a rogue. We believe that a rogue is a rogue, no matter how much money you pay them. It's a it's a belief in you pay somebody $10,000, they see 50 million, they steal money. You pay them $50,000, that person will still steal when they see 50 to $100 million. It's possible. These theories have been tested and proven over time. We cannot can just be going. Well, these guys are risks. They are hard risks for us as a country. The cartel, this cartel here is not just in West Africa. It's across in North and South America. So we got to be careful the way we just address it. We have this address it from a layman point of view. We should address this and discuss it from real deeper understanding. What made we hearing say the U.S. government is asking to waste those guys from here? Do we know whether they have gotten some information on them on that side?
We are always talking about the cost. In most cases, who underwrites the cost of such an exercise where the suspects will be taken to the United States to be tried and not in Liberia? Who underwrites the cost
As
of that?
I have previously said that I don't know whether this type of thing had happened before, but Liberia, the United States, knowing Liberia's economic position and knowing the risks that those guys pose, even their link pose to them, their region and ours, they could or they may,
Underwrite
if
it.
at all they are asking that they have already, if at all they are already asking that they want it to happen, definitely they will help us, and definitely if they do, it will be very good. But the guys, I'm not lying to you, with what the two incidents that occur now, I can tell you, brother, it's not easy to just let them, in that kind of way. I said, well, the guys are real. In fact, the cost of maintaining these officers, shifting them from guys, people don't know that there is a cost. They just feel that only deposit more and salary they get. And, there are other costs associated too. So the cost of fighting crimes are two ways. They got financial and material costs. They got human life costs. A lot of people don't know that. And the benefit is peace, good peace, peace, good security, and economic growth. So don't forget when you're discussing those things. That's where for me I have to say on that.
Yes, so gentlemen, so let's conclude on that. The newest thing on the people are talking about now is about this the bar owner, the entertainment center,
Private bar?
private bar owner. That's the newest on the newsstand that people are talking about. How did he come into the picture? He's a guy who running his business, an entertainment center. Honestly, it's one of the popular entertainment centers in that particular
Yeah, Pinsville.
Painesville area. No one expected him that he would have been, his hands would have been caught in the cookie's jar. How did it happen? And I mean, that's a question people are asking. How did the LDEA, whichever organization, the security agency, the organization that was set back, not or arrested him? How did they know that? That's the confusion, I believe, in the minds of people. How did it happen? How did he come into the picture all of a sudden? Knowing that he's a private bar owner, entertainment center owner, no one expected he will have drugs, selling drugs, or having such a connection. what do you think?
So basically, it's not about how did it happen, right? Because like it's intelligence. Intelligence normally will give rise to all of these, discoveries.
Okay.
It is done. It is done strange for the obvious reason. If you even look in the West, you see people really operate these kind of bars, casinos. There is always a history of drugs-related issues
Yeah,
in the West.
you're quite correct on that one.
So I'm not trying to misjudge those who are owners of bars in Liberia. No, but now that it's been established that the CEO of Paribas, Leroy, is being allegedly linked in charge as per the report from the government. I saw the charge sheet, right? There are multiple charges.
Yeah.
I even saw money laundering,
Money laundering,
oh no,
yeah.
all this kind of stuff. So I mean, his case must have been very complicated. But this is where I'm so confused and lost, and that puts me into the position to believe that the government needs to do more, especially when it comes to how fair, transparent this investigation will have to be. We saw the video. We saw a video today. There was media reports. State security barricaded the entire venue of the private bar. For whatever reason, I don't know up to now. There has been no update whether it is being. But what I do know by law, that once you are being charged for drug-related issues, taken to court, and then you are found guilty, the law says whatever proceed of that drug money can now become the property of the government. But the young man has not been. He has just been charged. He has not been fully prosecuted. Whether he's guilty or not, there has not been status of that. The police barricaded his place. Was it intelligence to go do search and seizure, or better still, we didn't see any of that. We only saw police people, police officers all around the place. But that also then it gave me the impression that what did this identical display, what this did not happen in the case of GLS measures, that cargo handling service. We saw even from the report from the police that the guy who is now being charged, called Paul King, who is the general manager of that company, was even the one who kept the goods, kept that consignment at his house. The man has been found guilty, he has been fully prosecuted and been found guilty, and therefore the government trying to clean the
Judge, that's your understanding. Judge, let me get your perspective on this.
For the warrant, if the warrant is delayed because you don't want the whatever information or whatever thing that may have been in that place to be taken away, you could do that. I don't think that is wrong. In my common sense, I'm not a lawyer, but you don't have to break into without warrant. All right, but you can barricade the area condone the error and wait
depending on the
nature of the case. That's why,
like what we're talking about,
that's-
the private bar.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going. So I cannot conclude here because I have not heard from the state security. In fact, why? And they have to speak to us to say why that happened. Why did they go there? And my little knowledge on the Paul King.
And,
it's
and the
it's being reported that he's the CEO of private bar.
Yeah, but that is not what is being debated. What is being debated is whether or not he was caught with drugs.
So
that's what he's been suspected and is arrested. And at the end of the day, he'll be taken to court to be questioned and find the link.
David,
so barricading the place, we're talking about drugs. Barricading the place means so that just in case you make any attempt to take out whatever drugs you have there, that's what the barricading is about. To make sure that you are contained, to make sure that at the end of the day, they will have access to a search in the house based on a search warrant from the court.
So the charge sheet of the young fellow informed the Liberian people, I think yesterday when it was announced, about what has been some of his road. You saw in that charge sheet, you saw facilitation,
I saw that you don't have to call order.
So I'm saying, so you are talking about whether he was caught with drugs. It has not been proven whether the young man was caught with drugs.
I didn't even say that. I did not even say that you were caught with drugs.
So
you have to look. You have to be a good listener,
David.
Yeah,
David. I don't like the way you conducted the show. You can't be hijacking whenever, especially when you give me the time. You cannot run a show under pressure.
Look, Mr. William.
Yeah, you gotta take it easy.
Mr. William, it's you who putting pressure on yourself. I'm saying that you have to be a good listener so that you can misconstrue others. That's what.
But you just said that. Why is it that? You want to know whether he was caught with drugs? I'm saying from the charge sheet that brought in the Nero, what are the charges? It's from the charges you will know exactly what has been his role into the alleged commission of the crime.
I've read it. I know the charges.
So if you read so and then claim you don't know well, then you should not be be raising it on the show. That's waste of time.
Is going down the drain.
Mr. William.
Oh God.
Look, we have to transition. This is the nighttime heat on Prime FM 105.1. My name is David Tybert, and my name is David Tybert, and this is the nighttime heat. We're talking about the unfolding developments in our country right here on Prime FM 105.1. The nighttime heat, just type 105.5. Just type the nighttime heat. We're on YouTube and 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 uh, and Facebook, and you get a nighttime heat. Share with your family and friends as we discuss the trending national issues on the nighttime heat. Yeah, Mr. William, go ahead.
So the police announced and then reported about he being charged. You understand? The government yesterday. But what the government also did not announce.
No, be straight. What is your concern? What is
Oh.
it about?
My man, we talking about this whole legal involvement into the drug. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, I want you to be brief, Mr. William.
When Mr. Kennedy talking, you want them to be brief about the time I try to talk, you say, oh, be brief, be brief. Is that how you want to conduct the show? Then tell
It
me.
may take 2 minutes to talk.
No,
1
Mr.
minute.
Just let me go ahead because I
But call
know.
my name, so I very for my time reaching and be very brief.
So we need to get a timekeeper in the studio. I think that would be better for the
So
show.
man, two of you will be here tomorrow for me.
So I'm saying,
Yeah.
what are the government charging in abstention? We don't know. Is it in the country? We don't know. These are basic information that the Liberian people should be aware. We only saw charge sheet of Leroy yesterday. Is Leroy being charged? Is he under police custody? We don't know. And now we saw police officer at the main place in the absence of sheriff. And then we say, okay, that maybe for whatever reason, based on intelligence is necessary. But for least to forget, in the absence of sheriff, you go to somebody's property, barricade the area, post up to business, post up to normal activities. Don't you think that is an infringement on the rights of other people, especially other managerial staffs? The man is a CEO. He doesn't even sit as a manager. He doesn't even run the day-to-day affairs of that place. If he has an issue, if the government, if there's an intelligence that talks about something being kept at that area, the government should move in,
Okay,
get the sheriff, carry the press, go through, and then you do what is right. But what we saw down there, I mean, I saw it as an infringement on the rights of others. That's just it.
Okay, that's how he see it. So, gentlemen, let's transition to our next topic. The African Development Bank. The African Development Bank has said the Liberian government is doing well in terms of the country's economy. Georgie, that's your area. You from that background. You are from that background. I guess you must have read that report.
Actually, I also busy today. I didn't read the report, but it's not strange
Uh-huh.
because there are indicators of economic growth that drive indicators that drive economic growth, and most of those indicators are well vivid in the country. Is the growth really moving faster at the way we want and making impact? The growth is a bit slow. The impact is a bit slow, but it's gradually moving. That's why the African Development Bank said. But one thing that I saw a figure. Someone says that they reported that in order for Liberia to be really set as a good economy, for now, the 2030 will have to invest around $2.8 billion annually, which is already said that we'll fail on that. For now, in the 2030, we will be near closer to 2 billion or little over, but it may not go to the 2.8. It means that 2027, we have to spend 2.8 billion, 2028, 2.8 billion, 2029, 2.8 billion, 2030, 2.8 billion before our economy, because they've seen the growth trajectory, they've seen where the government is investing in roads, in energy, infrastructure, they're looking at in agriculture, they're seeing all those activities government moving as we speak. The government recently announced that they got more than 300 plus earth moving equipment in the agri sector coming. They're looking at mechanized farming, all of those things. They're looking at the outputs of all of those factors. If you see them, you will see that the economy will be well positioned. But the amount we're hearing say the calling at 2.8 billion this year, next year to 2030.
Even it also
already
says
shown.
inflation is at the lowest.
Yes,
For
it's
now.
in single digit, right? It's in single digit, and it's very good. It's a very good thing, and a lot of people miss on these things when the people say, "Oh, inflation is coming down." Some people say, "Oh, it's not good. It's not true because of the goods, the cost of goods on the market." Like, bro, using dual currency, you know, inflation is driven by the upward movement of goods and services in the price of goods and services. Our upward movement in the cost of goods and services is mostly driven by exchange rate vulnerability in our economy. We use dual currency. The Liberian dollar, buying the US dollar at the rate of 180 or 180 something is high. All right. It is because we still need to we need to do export. We need to produce more to do export. Our export earnings stay low. We still sending more money. Also, still bringing more goods in than we're sending goods out. The our trade is still imbalance. The difference is very high. If you look at it, the GDP would be it's still very low for us to be
Yeah.
called very strong economy. And so but we're getting there as the government and the private sector invest.
But the gradual growth
Yeah.
that the AD,
Yeah,
the African
AFDB,
Development Bank and AFDB is talking about,
Yeah.
that is in the views or in the minds of other Liberians or critics of the government. So that has not been reflected in the lives of the people. There are a lot of unemployed Liberians, though the economy is growing or gradually growing. But that is not being seen in the lives of the people.
So you see, a lot of people miss these numbers when the people bring up.
Mhm.
We have the formal and informal sector of the economy. Likewise, the employment too. They got businesses that are not registered that people do that they survive on.
Mhm.
Those people are employed, but those businesses are not registered with government. They are not tax paying businesses. You get it? Those people, when they're sending employed people, but they're earning their own revenue and surviving on it. When they check them in terms of employment, the book and say, no, those people are not employed. In that bureau, understand employment as someone you got to be working for government, working for someone, a company, before you are considered employed. We don't even consider, most of them even consider people working in the store, because they say the salary too small as employees. We don't consider money changers who change money and getting a lot of earnings, and some of them the properties that some of them getting their own self. We don't even consider them as employees. All right, they work for themselves. They are private sector people. They work for themselves. They earn their own money. And what if somebody, the woman who got her table down with us, that is very stable, and every time she buy her goods, sell and make business, she employed on that she survive on, send her children to school, and she's employed. But we don't know these things in Liberia.
So, Mr. William,
So-
let me. I'll come back to you, William, Josh. Mr. William, is the economy actually growing as the AFDB is saying about the Liberian economy? What do you think about this report that Liberia is doing well? This economy is improving. In fact, inflation is at the lowest end. And that there's limited, not many people are unemployed. Not many people are unemployed. That means majority of Liberians are employed. Like George was talking about the categories of employment. The fact that whatever one does that puts money in his pocket and in her pocket,
Livable, yeah.
livable income
Yeah.
is a job. So the AFDB is saying that Liberia is doing well in this economy. The economy is growing. They talk about infrastructure development, they talk about agriculture, they talk about other things. Do you agree with that report? If not, why not?
So basically, there are key components, especially when it comes to, there are prospects. Honestly speaking,
Their prospects.
there are prospects. So
Okay.
I don't too sure anybody will want to
Question that.
categorize that report as being fabricated or maybe being far from the truth. Because these people, they are international partners. Before they come to give report, they have done survey, collect the data, analyze the data, process them before they come out to give a comprehensive report. But again, this is not the first time for even the AFDB to come up with a report about our country. And we saw several reports, even from the World Bank, previous administration, they reference Liberia is making steady progress, point to some other key areas that they need to do more. And we still experience poverty on the increase. So what I'm saying is that
Poverty on the increase. That means that in spite of the fact that the economy is growing, it's making gradual,
They are still,
progress. Poverty is increasing. Is that possible?
oh yes, yes. The thing is, I was reading. Was it the? I want to be very specific. I will catch that the name of that report. I was reading one of the reports that talked about Liberia, our poverty rate, and that report pointed to something very damning, that there's still poverty on increase in the country. Yeah, one other hand, the report from the FDB, saying that the economy is growing, which cannot be, that kind of, you cannot make it out of debate because they have the variables, they have the indicator they may have used.
So I'm saying, I mean, in other words, if the economy is growing,
we're supposed to
and the reflection in the
should be in the ordinary people
is that look, people are prices on the market are stable. They're stable. People have monies in their pockets or in their bags to buy. I mean, their basic social services like the electricity, the water running into the homes, must be there. There must be the easy movement of people through transportation systems and other means, stable electricity, and good roads connecting entire country. I mean, that's what we talk of poverty alleviation, agriculture, all this thing about poverty alleviation. And these are factors the bank, the African Development Bank, considering that the economy is improving, prices are stable, people are buying. You don't go in the market and they buy there for $400 and the next day you go and sold for $150. Nothing the business students will tell you that. So I mean, this is what I'm disagreeing with your position.
All of my position that you disagree with.
No, you know that.
No, you gotta, because I was in flight and you had Jack. You say you disagree. Well, so what is the position you disagree with? Because I have not learned it. You want me to conclude? Great. So I'm saying there are indicators. Normally, the international partners don't live in our country.
You said poverty is increasing. That's what
I said. There are still reports of poverty, on an increase. Despite the reports from the African Development Bank that the Liberian economy is.
So you're questioning the report, the same report that you said you accepted, that you say was in good faith. And now you're telling me that you question it.
No, David. I mean, I don't have a question on the report of the African Development Bank, but equally so we cannot ignore some of the existing realities. Are you suggesting to me that there is no poverty in Liberia? There is still poverty. There is still poverty in the country.
Even there's poverty.
And let me tell you this: there are still citizens who still living below the bare minimum of $1 in this country. You don't believe so? So there are indicators. I don't want to be very dismissive to the report of the African Development Bank. As a citizen, as a patriot, I acknowledge it. That's a great sound in terms of those who supposed to give us money, donor partners are recognizing the fact that our economy is growing. That's trust. That is trust. That is confidence. So we got to speak to that. They talk about the issue about the projection of Liberia to have a stable economy, a vote of aid. They talk about $2.8 billion for another 2030. So let's ask ourselves: for the first of a kind, we hit 1 billion. Is this achievable in 2027? Can we hit 2.8 billion? I say no to that.
You say.
Yeah, because there are issues.
Mr. Wynn,
it's not possible that that's the reality. We cannot sugarcoat it.
Mr. Wynn, okay, that's your view, and I accept your
view. You know that double dollar is even complaining right now.
Can we transition to our
some of the things that will give revenue? The people trying to.
Okay, Mr. Wynn.
Go ahead.
That's a position I agree with. I accept your position. That's your opinion. Josh, can we transition to the and Mr. Wynn? We transitioning to President Boubacar. Call for the acceleration of renovation works at the State University of Liberia. The infrastructure is very poor, as we are hearing. There's a need for, a better learning atmosphere, not only for students, for even faculty members, for even visitors of the university. The infrastructure, some of the buildings have not been painted for several years. In fact, some parts of the premises are littered with dirt or garbage. It doesn't look like the premier university of Liberia. So President Boaka is 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 is, uh, is calling on the administration to begin the renovation work and in fact accelerate renovation work. And this is happening at a time the university is in crisis. It's happening at a time the university is in crisis. The faculty association and agitating against the current administration headed by Dr. Mapayan, Lelia Mapayan. So, in fact, there are calls for her resignation or dismissal. I mean, the university in crisis. As far as the faculty association is concerned, she isn't. She isn't a good administrator. The university problems are increasing. In fact, So, I mean, why these things are happening? President Walker is calling on the administration to accelerate the renovation. Don't you think that there's a conflict there? You're in crisis, and at the same time, you're doing renovation work of the infrastructure. Don't you think there's some distraction somewhere?
There is absolutely no conflict, no crisis. By the way, maybe your choice of word is too harsh. There is no crisis at the university.
Okay.
It is obvious issues, especially Stafford's has some.
What is crisis? The fact that you have the faculty association agitating against the administration.
Which is that right? We think the rights of people as crisis?
Then you don't understand what crisis is.
So okay, maybe yeah. So let me learn. I know you always. So I'm saying there is no crisis at the University of Liberia, as far as I'm concerned, and for all indications, these things has always been there. Of these faculties will sometimes have misunderstanding. These are misunderstandings between the administration and the faculty that need to be needs to be talked about on a roundtable conversation and not move up. So I mean to reach it to the degree of crisis, I'm saying that is being very exorbitant. I mean that adjective is so harsh. The president, the president of the university still enjoys the confidence of the president. What the president did, what President Boaka did today, was just what is responsible of him as a leader. Remember yesterday I said on the show, in similar case to the MCSS, that he said, "Oh, should the president listen to the people?" I said, yes. It is part of good leadership that a good leader will always listen. When you listen to some of the issues of the people, and then you move in. And I'm quite sure one of the accounts of the faculty of the University of Liberia is to have a good learning environment. And none of the president have answered that call of the faculty. They say, look, administration can accelerate renovation works. There have been a technical team that has been constituted, and very soon we'll be beginning that process. So that is leadership. So maybe upon even hearing the news, probably those who have been agitating, some of those folks from the faculty, maybe they will have been. I believe probably this news. Even
the renovation of the infrastructure is one of the.
I said it's one of the
demands of the faculty association. So it's the right thing for now. Judge, let me hear from you on that one. Do you think there's going to be some distraction at the time the university is in crisis, and at the same time the president of the republic is calling for the acceleration of renovation work with that?
No,
I think that would create some, slowness or ineffectiveness in terms of the implementation of such renovation work in the midst of crisis.
Look, I empathize. I'm not a product of the University of Liberia, but I empathize with the University of Liberia, especially the students and faculty, even the administration, the entire UL family as a whole. The problem is UL, in my opinion, has not been positioned the way it should be. The classrooms, the physical infrastructure have always had that problem. Universities, the nation's #1 university, when you go in the classroom, you feel jealous. You should be somewhere that you feel comfortable. And I think this is what the president is talking about, because the last time they had a problem there, when they talk about budgetary issue, they said the money they had was insufficient, that some more $1 million said was insufficient. That's how the government decided to add additional 6 million on that money to improve the infrastructure. The president is surprised. Why is it that the project is slow? Because most often lash as soup, for their behavior, because this protestation all the time, it loses the relevance of student politics, But when it comes to the infrastructure of the university, most of the time when they're saying it, they are right. The classroom should be, why no air conditioning? Why can't put air conditioning? Why you can't put better chairs? Why you can't put more chairs?
The question, let me put it shortly, is that whether the president's call is timely. I'm talking about the fact that there's a crisis between, there's a misunderstanding, and which is, in other words, is crisis between the university administration and the faculty association. In my view, that will undermine whatever renovation work that the president wants.
No, in fact, that is in fact what also offer calling for the infrastructure of the university to be improved, for their well-being and all of those. And that's why the president, they give the money for. So the president is saying utilize the money so this tension can cool down.
That is to say, one of their demands is
Yeah,
being met.
the major one.
One of the major ones.
Major one that
it's been met.
Yeah,
So there wouldn't be any.
Yes, I think the president's statement came from, this instruction came from the fact that there was discussion. There have been discussions behind the scene with the UL authority and the visitor of the university, who happened to be the president of Liberia. And I think that from that meeting, in fact, that he made that pronouncement about $6 million. Look, gentlemen, you go and do this thing, because it's a distraction all the time. The executive mansion here, noise always across the road down there. And that's a microcosm of the larger society. I respect the University of Liberia a lot. I think it should be better off. I think that place should be better off. We all should be jealous of it.
Okay, Josh. Josh, let me go to Mr. Wian. So, Mr. Wian, you heard Josh say the fact that the renovation of the infrastructure on the university campus is one of the demands of the faculty association. The renovation work the presidents are calling for will go ahead without any hindrance.
Of course, I said it, and I mean, Mr. Kennedy just buttress as well. Look, we do not support what the issue about violence, the issue about disruption of normal learning activities. But let's look at the factors. Let's look at what are the reasons, what are the contributing factors. University of Liberia, as the premier higher institution in the country, that era is too, I don't want to say it seems that it does not exist in terms of infrastructure, because I have visited that place twice. I'm not a student there anyway, but I have visited that area twice. Mm-hmm. If you go even to the bathrooms, I want to go about naming some of the poorest infrastructures in terms of some of these different or administrative buildings. So there's a need, and I think the president, like I said, acted very responsibly. Listen to the crowd of some of the people and say, look, you'll do this urgently. It's not about them. It's not a call for. It's not like the issues of off or the university. I say off also or offer. Who I don't know. Offer.
Yeah, University Faculty Association.
Yes, it is not their call that instructed the president's decision to have allocated $6 million. No, the president, in his wisdom, and with the fact that the university needs to be upgraded, that money was allotted. But I think what ACOM have done must have reminded the president, oh, Mr. President, the purpose for which that $6 million was placed in the budget, it has not been done, or it is being done slowly. So there's a need that you speak. When the president speaks, that's a weight. It carries weight. So now that the president has spoken, let's see how fast and soon will the renovation works of the university campuses, get achieved.
So, Judge, you think that the fact that this later development, the president called for the acceleration of renovation work at the universities has been one of the demands of the University Faculty Association.
Sure.
So you think that will positively impact, it will slow down the crisis, in fact, resolve the crisis.
In fact,
that will resolve the crisis.
it will definitely. And look, I see the president, the modern schools. I see the way.
It's just one of the demands.
Yeah, no, I mean, mostly it's about those
Infrastructure.
instructors are now on payroll to be there, this and that, all of those things. It's not something that can be done. It's not something that is something that is doable. It's not something that you can say it can be done. It's doable. All right. So I think I saw the president, I mean, furnishing public school, giving them morning chairs, this and that. The university, let me learn on some of the things I really want to see in the University of Liberia classrooms, even though I'm not a product. I love the University of Liberia because that's the country's premier university. But I want to see all the classrooms well air conditioned with morning chair, customized chairs, not armchairs, not the type of armchairs that's on which I know the president will change it. I believe it because he's doing it for other schools, and definitely I think that's what he wants to see at the University of Liberia. If you go to school, you enter the classroom, then you should feel like you're in the classroom, because look, that's the country's image there. And I think Dr. Lele Mapaya and her team, Dr. Lester Tenney, they all should work together to make sure that dream comes to pass. Dr. Tenney is a product there. I know
this little crisis is not the first of it. Can I remember when Clifford Young?
Yeah, our president.
Clifford Young was head of the University Faculty Association.
Yeah.
We had similar problem at the university. Why OFA is always having problem with all the administrations at the university?
Because the same condition still remains. There is some improvement now.
But let's talk about the approach that OFA uses.
Okay, so
let's talk about the approach that it uses.
The radical approach
in seeking redress to such problems,
right.
and not being hostile, and not being demanding dismissal or suspension of the sitting president of the university.
No, Clifford did that many times. Maybe you didn't follow that because when I'm in the press, I call him many times. Many times, OFA laid down chalk during his time. The weapon the instructor has in the classroom, if he's not well taking care of that, he laid the chalk down. Because when he lays the chalk down, the students will not go to school, the students will rise, and then the system will act. Because the system wants to see the student going to school, the system wants to see peace, and kindness, this and that. So that's what they usually do. But this time, the noise a little bit less, issue good press statement, called, and the president intervened quickly, called and said, well, there's money in the budget. You cry for this thing. So, gentlemen, look, you move in and do that thing very fast. And I think they should follow suit and go immediately because it is difficult to replace certain people on that campus. It is difficult. Not that it's impossible. It is difficult to replace. I see the speakers and I can go teach. The state speaker, he can go teach. Graduate classroom, this and that. When you walk in the whole building, the other day I went to testing and evaluation. I went to see someone there. That those places should be better. The buildings need to be renovated. Should be something that when you enter, you walk in, you should hear.
That is a state-run university.
Yeah, state of the art should be like that. The day the president go to those places, definitely he will say, "No, I don't want to see this."
Mr. William, do you agree that maybe the problem at the university between the OFA and the administration, is to some extent resolved?
Yes, to some extent, these have been some of the major issues.
Yeah.
Modernize the campuses of the University of Liberia. Make sure you install internet. That the students and the faculty have access to internet. These are been some laboratories, science lab, all this stuff and things. And those who are still volunteering, we'll try and see how to enroll on the period. That's all. So this is a stepping stone. This is a stepping stone. is a ice cream by the way, and that we look forward that every one of them can link it together so that they can have a very better learning environment.
Lick
Lick
it
the ice cream
together.
together.
Yeah, okay, lick the ice cream together. Yeah, okay, that's a good one. Now this is the nighttime heat on Prime FM 105.5. The show is on Facebook and YouTube. You can just type nighttime heat, you get it. My name is David Tiger. I'm sitting in for Robert Josh. Josh Kennedy and Despo Wion are here as panelists on this edition, this Wednesday's edition of the program, Nighttime Heat. Okay, for those who are following, let me acknowledge those who are following the program for now. The Maya Bro is our regular follower from Minnesota, Minneapolis, I beg your pardon, Minnesota in the USA. Vinicius Junior Bar, he says he's following from Newtown. Ophelia S. Josh is following from her home. And Abraham V. Ye is watching from what's called a Gardnersville, Monrovia. Sensi Beslo Perry is watching from Atlanta, the United States of America. So, gentlemen, these are people who follow in the show.
And many more. You
These
didn't
are-
even complete the
no,
list.
no, that's the end of the list. More than I know that more people will be joining the conversation. So, is there a way that problems at the University of Liberia? What is the easiest way that these consistent or repeated misunderstandings at the University of Liberia of the administration, students of the university always having protests? They also, is it also or SUB?
The student political
SUB is a governing body
Yeah. Also is
for the students.
Okay, SUB.
Yes,
And the other groups that
PUSA,
are other groups that are there. So
Same.
all these misunderstandings, I know that there's no way, even if Jesus Christ becomes the president of the University of Liberia, I guess there will still be problems because you're dealing with human beings. What the best way to minimize these, these controversies between the administration, the students, or the faculty association and the administration? What can be done? I mean, to quell these kind of these repeated controversies that continue to impede the academic progress of that university.
So this is a very huge question. It has a lot of components.
Mhm.
The faculty and administration on one side, the students and the administration on one side, and the students on the other
On
side.
the other side.
So we have to split it that way, right? The faculty and administration, faculty salary got to be very regular. The learning environment, their offices where all the schools with their lunch and everything got to be set and be very, very decent for them. If there are any incentives, we got to be given to them. If their colleagues are not on payroll, you got to put them on payroll. So one is proving that they are teaching, you get them on record, put them on payroll. The faculty will noise policies. Now, the students and the administration. Students always want to pay their activity fees and other things, and they always want to go to them when they are in leadership. You have to be very regular with that. You also have to see about their regular elections without interference.
Yeah.
Right? You see about their election, you make sure that they have their election without interference. Right? Then you have the administration and what I said, the student and the faculty and administration, student and administration, and another group that I named I just remember, right? So what you need to do in that place, and you can't do this without financial support. The infrastructure of the school, you have to take care of it. the whole environment, the learning environment, the classroom for the students and the teachers, the 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 transportation, regular transportation to move the teachers and the students back and forth, Fender and the main campus, those are intermediary. Or you have to make sure wherever the picking from pins or wherever you got to be very regular there. The both campuses, you have to ensure that those campuses have those things at the students' name. Mr. William lists a good number of them: internet service, good library and laboratories. If we got those things at the University of Liberia's campuses, right? The two main campuses especially, this noise will change. It will reduce, it will be minimized.
Because the students are studying in comfort.
Comfort.
The faculty members are also doing their work in comfort.
Yeah.
So that would alleviate.
That will alleviate. They're having their regular elections without interference with students now. You're giving them their rights to have their regular elections without interference. What the leadership, student leadership needs.
It's often said that the faculty are usually the one that influence the students' agitation against the administration. Let me start with you on that.
Yeah, that is when, if for any reason, like of the many things that have been named by Mr. Kennedy, if these things are not being put in place, and you got instructors who they don't have to incite the students just by the fact that they lay down trucks. That is a whole incitement by itself. The students don't have to be told by faculty members to go protest before they know that once the teacher not in class, the teacher is supposed to be in class, and you knowing the reason for which the teacher is not in class, you will go protest. So you see, because at the end they become the end use, they become the victims. Let me say the victims of whatever action may be taken by the instructors by laying down the chalks. So they will not say that. As per the question as to how can this be solved? Can this be solved? Can University of Liberia, can the protest, protestations, violence, all the things be stopped? Two ways. I'm not going to, Mr. Kennedy said a whole lot, yes. Let's look at it from the two perspectives, the faculty and the students. For the faculties, yes, there's a possibility that they can, the issue about faculty protesting, going on, go slow, can be stopped. Yes, there's a huge possibility of that. Once the administration
has a huge possibility that faculty can influence the students.
No, the faculty can only influence the student if some of the things that need to be addressed for the faculty to have a very conducive learning environment, if the things are not being addressed, sometimes they don't even need.
So you agree that can alleviate it if these issues are addressed.
Yes, once the issues that with the counts of the faculty, and once you solve everything, they don't have no ground to go to protest or whatever. But for the students, it is impossible to just absolutely stop them from engaging into protestation. And the reason is simple. The University of Liberia, being the hub of higher learning in the country, it is also the center for what we call political science. And that is where politics begin. You understand? So all of those who have in government right now, the past.
That's where politics begins. It doesn't mean that people should unnecessarily or recklessly agitate on the university campus, stalling the normal operation of the university. But I'd like for us to transition. Quite recently. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
So the student politics is part of political science. That's what I'm saying. So you cannot absolutely to say, oh, you can get it put on absolute control. But for the faculty, no, it is not advisable. In fact, it is not part of their learning or by the TOR or by ethics for faculty to protest once everything they need to operate as instructors, everything has been provided. But for the students, even within our own students' election, the student council election, there could be some possibility of protest to be taking place. That is normal. It's a normal phenomenon in student struggle at every university.
Okay, Mr. William, let's transition now. Let's transition. This is the Nighttime Heat. My name is David Tagwet, and this is Prime FM 105.5. Nighttime Heat is also on Facebook and YouTube. Just type Nighttime Heat and share the program. I'm sitting in it for Sabo Black or Josh. And why are you laughing? That's a man's full name. The
How you call it?
Sabo Mbrafo Josh.
Bravo.
That's a crew name. I would call it, perfectly because I'm a crewman. And my
Yeah.
name is David Namwita, but I'm sitting on Sabo Mbrafo Josh. So this is the thing. And so we were just talking about, quite recently talking about a vessel hanging around Liberian waters near Grand Cape County. And the one name that popped off was Mike Adakuya, Makuya.
Makuya.
Name pop up at a time. And what we heard it was that he wrote the maritime authorities seeking their intervention, almost like that people on the vessel were distressed and that the vessel had a technical problem that needed the intervention of the maritime authorities. Another question they're asking is what was the motive? The fact that the disappearance of that ship has now creating suspicion. How come? We had just heard that they had a mechanical problem, and then minutes after, or hours after, the AFL even visited the vessel or the surrounding of the vessel. Uh, it's gone. I understand that it has disappeared, creating suspicion about what was that vessel all about? What did it come to do? What was it doing in the waters, in Liberian waters? How did it leave? Why didn't the government immediately engage those on board at first sight? And then after when the AFL won, there a lot of people expected that the AFL were going to go on board that vessel and see what is on it, who are on it, and if possible, bring those on board on shore, to ask them some questions. But the AFL will understand when there, though we haven't heard what their findings were or what their findings are. We haven't heard anything. Now, their concern being raised. The boat, the vessel that disappeared, Mr. Kuya or Mike Kuya, at one time official at the Liberia Airport Authority, name has popped up, and now people are asking what was his motive, what relationship does he have with the vessel, what was he the one to call the maritime authority, the fact that he's from the airport, working with the airport, why was it interest in the vessel? That's what people are asking. They're not suggesting that he's wrong or has something funny doing with the vessel, but they're asking how come, how did he get to know about the vessel? How come he wrote what was the motive? That's what people are asking.
Yeah, these are genuine questions.
Mhm.
These are very genuine questions. It's just like
Was it out of sympathy, feeling for the people that no food for them, they on the vessel, they're not moving? It was that out of that humanitarian feeling?
if that was
They
so,
must have done that.
if that was so, then the people have gone deeper sea.
Mhm.
They get food to where they're going. When they were around, when they were at the place they were at first, where we could see them, or if that is the case of not having food based on humanitarian ground, so where they're going now is they're carrying food with them. So the thing is, I think the suspended airport boss, I think he needs to understand that in the kinds of times, it is just advisable enough that he got to keep quiet. If I was one of the
Even if you see a strange vessel,
look,
in your country's territorial waters, and you shouldn't say anything about that. Why, if others are not on top of the information?
what makes him think that it is only he that may have seen that vessel? By the way, he's at the airport authority. If it is plain, probably that got stuck in his car for whatever reason, and then he's communicating that information, it appears logical. But you from the airport, you get to do with water, especially those when the people from Mauritania that have the system being put in place. Look, our whole coastline is designed a way upon even engaging the Liberian water. Those at the level of maritime can be alighted. They can be alighted. It's an automatic system. The Take bad. In fact, those even at the people of Monrovia, there is some possibility that they too can be elected. There are signals. So what makes Makuya of all the people not communicating that information, but he to the airport who's supposed to be dealing with plane, but now I'm talking about ship. It's not. You see the conflict in the account. So I'm saying yes, these are all general questions, and I think the government needs to ask him more. Now that the government has attempted going to know as to why the situation, the vessel came and then it got stuck in one position. Only for us to get to understand that when the government making that approach by the support of Nigeria, the vessel kept going forward, kept going in deep sea, knowing that the boat that the Liberian military was using, it couldn't extend to the deeper part of the sea. The vessel intentionally kept going deep sea, going as very high sea. For what reason? If the guys were distressed, don't you think they would have been coming closer to the shore, coming closer to the free port so that there could be some level of refuge?
Okay, Mr. Wian, George, what are your thoughts on this?
When I saw the letter, I had first thought that even though this man serves as Deputy Managing Director of Operations at RIA, I thought he wrote the letter in his capacity as Deputy Managing Director for Operations. And these are some of the things you got to be careful. This man wrote in his capacity.
Judge, sorry, I'm not interrupting you, but Wian said something I'd like you to address first.
Oh, I didn't want to.
Yeah, Wian said that you can be assigned to the airport as a deputy managing director or whatever position he held at the Roberts International Airport. You can be at the airport and be concerned about what happens in our territorial waters, like in the case of the ship, a mysterious ship, a strange ship, that as a Liberian, a nationalist, a patriotic son of the country, saying a strange ship that you think poses threat to your country's security, you shouldn't report it. The fact that you are only assigned at the airport and you shouldn't be talking about what happens in our territorial waters. That's why he said. Do you agree with him on that?
I don't. If I'm to respond to it, I would say I don't agree. The airport has the distress signal the airport has not only for aircraft, it could also be for vessels, right? But that's where I wanted to go. Mr. Kura didn't write the letter in his capacity as deputy for operations at the airport. He wrote the letter in his capacity as agent of Madre's group of companies. He worked for the company, all right? He wrote that letter as agent. I'm not supporting what he said. So I never had his file. So the letter released, I decided, no. Who wrote the letter? It's his name though, right? So this company, he said he was writing on behalf of the shipping lines, that the shipping line had reached to them and registering distress. So he, as agent of Madre's group of company, was writing the Labrador Maritime Authority, notifying them. He also CC the managing director of the National Port Authority on this, and but now, surprisingly, and that's why sometimes the investigators, it's their profession, they're following the leads, the evidence, whatever evidence that they have that link this man to that whole 300 million drugs, that led them to have arrested him. They have also been connected to this particular communication. Here is a vessel now.
So what is the suspicion? What do you think?
The suspicion is.
What is the suspicion about Mike, about Kuya?
The suspicion is.
What is the suspicion?
The suspicion is clearly vessel in distress is definitely fall within the purview of the Labrador Maritime Authority. Okay, and the way the vessel left, I told you about the MRMCC. If you go to LEC Gate, before going to LEC Gate, a maritime place or whatever, they got a whole system that monitor vessels in distress. I been that when Bian Kessley was there as commissioner, that place still been functioning. Even the late Solomon George was assigned there before.
So the fact that it is not a prerogative and he did it, that means that he had a sinister motive. Is that
No,
what people are thinking?
No, for
What-
me,
you know,
that's
I'm still wondering. Even if
you know why I couldn't say
Uh-huh.
yes to that,
No.
because he wrote a letter in his capacity as what agent of a
No,
shipping line.
but people are making issue of
So it shows that-
making a lot of issue about
Yeah.
it, that he must have had some sinister motive, or he must have had some dubious connection with the vessel we're talking about. That's what people are thinking.
Anybody
I'm
can-
only blowing out of proportion that there's a likelihood that he has some link with the vessel and the mysterious circumstances under which.
No, he had link with the vessel,
What sort of link is that?
because he wrote, the vessel reached out to him, to his company, and he wrote on
A
behalf.
representative of the vessel.
Yeah, but
Reached out to
just
him.
read the letter.
Uh-huh.
You want to read the letter for the public? And the letter is here. You know, it's good to get it because it's linked to that particular vessel. This is what he wrote, the opening paragraph, right? Let me read for the good of our men and followers. He said, on behalf, listen,
Okay, on behalf.
on behalf of the owners and master of IB, Atlante IV, IMO number, his name is 8502133, flying the flag Comoros, the Comoros Island
The
flag.
Comoros
Okay,
Island.
Comoros Island. We wish to notify you that the said vessel is in distress at sea due to loss of engine. You see, so he's writing on behalf
On behalf of
I didn't want to read the whole thing.
of the vessel.
of the vessel. So it means that he has connection.
He has
He-
connection.
yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
He
So
has
so with
connection.
this, and if that vessel is believed or happen to come tomorrow to be the vessel that is connected to drugs,
Uh-huh.
definitely.
But
The speculation that the people carrying-
So that hasn't been established yet.
Yeah, but we cannot also
Yeah,
say he's
yeah,
not, he doesn't
yeah,
have link to
Yeah,
it.
no, he has link with from what you said, the
Okay.
letter you've read.
Yeah.
That is obvious that he has some link
Yeah.
with the vessel. We are.
Yeah, so another interesting issue is which is I want to look at it. It's a very key function. This man has just been dismissed. I don't know what is the date of the
It
letter.
was the 16th or something, or the 13th of, well, let me see the date on it. He wrote this
Okay, so
on the
this is
July 13th.
July 13, of which he was still in a position as managing deputy managing director for the airport. He was still in his position as deputy managing director, and he wrote in the capacity as an agent of a shipping line.
Okay, shipping line. That's
So
not
you
completed.
see, so that's double standard. So that's why I said, Mr. Kula, continue to create an impression for people to speculate more. And if for any reason his family members are probably listening to the conversation, I think it's hard time you gotta advise him to just keep quiet for once and allow the investigation to go ahead. Because the more he speaks, the more he creates more
So the
loopholes.
other point.
Oh, is he still speaking of?
I don't know, because I mean,
When did this letter that
So,
came
so
out?
the other point here, gentlemen, is that why there's a strange vessel people talking about in our waters. The armed forces of Liberia understand saying a team of how they call them, a team of Coast Guard officers
Mhm.
to where the vessel was, and it was expected that they would have engaged those on board that vessel. For instance, it was there at the time we're talking about, drug trafficking, the proliferation of drugs, that people are sneaking in drugs or cocaine into the country, and a strange vessel in our waters, and the armed forces of Liberia visited the area, and they're not seeking, and did not take any, did not do anything. And up to now, we haven't heard about its findings. What did they go to do there? Did they talk to the people? What did they get out of them? I mean, no one knows what's happening. And so now that the vessel, I understand, had disappeared. And then that's the time I understand people that are pursuing and that are seeking to find it. Why didn't they initially do that?
I think we discussed this here last night when some of
last
us
night,
touched on
yeah.
it. We said,
Uh-huh.
as the AFL was approaching, the vessel was going in deep sea. The boat they were using, it cannot go in deep sea.
Wow.
because it's the boat is somewhere in the form of the kind
Wow.
of Kino something there, even though it's more type of Kino, but it cannot go in deep sea. So it tells you that that vessel is not free. So what the Liberian government has done is that they have sent signal to Nigeria and other countries so I know where the vessel goes so they can track it because the vessel got cold and other things. So at the end of the day, it boils down not on training, it boils down to logistics. The airfare doesn't have the kind of military boat that can go in deep sea
Yeah.
to actually
It doesn't
patrol
have it.
our
We're
coast,
not that equipped.
our coastline.
So the question is,
Yeah,
where is Mark now?
So that is
under the circumstances. Where's Mark now?
so.
Have we heard any reports about Nido having arrested on the suspicion about the mysterious disappearance of the ship? Where is he now? Is he a free man, or there are thoughts about getting him to answer some questions?
While it's true that he's been dismissed and he's being put full for investigation, for his alleged link to the 17 million. So this identical issue, there's a possibility that in fact there's no reason why the state needs to ask him some questions, because the state does not know the captain ownership.
Yeah.
It was he who Mark Wella wrote as a you are investigating drug issue, you are being alleged and all that stuff. So the question they could be asking, sir, you wrote us that this just ship was in distress. We try going there, you are going to high sea. Has it been released from the distress?
To back up that, the last draw, the 317 million, Kimbasi.
It was discovered by Kimbasi.
Then we're talking about a vessel. Then one of the men who
allegedly being
linked,
it has a link with that vessel.
So it's suspicious, very suspicious.
So, gentlemen, we have 8 minutes to 10 o'clock. This is one thing I'd like for us to talk about, even though it's not one of our topics, it's our topic. But the sake of our political environment, I think we should talk about it. Because we're talking about the major opposition political party in the country, the CDC. We're hearing that two senior officials from two different counties have resigned. The guy in Maryland and the guy in Grange. That the guy in Grange, I understand, he's the head of maybe it's the head of one auxiliary of the CDC. I mean, what does it say about the CDC with all these resignations, most especially the one in Grange, that one of the major strongholds of the CDC. And now we're hearing about one of the senior officials of the CDC in Maryland has also resigned or relinquished his position. What does it say about the CDC, Mr. William?
So.
This one, let's deal with it.
Yeah. So basically, I don't too sure it has any negative impact on the CDC as a party, because we saw this in the country. Look, in politics, there is always no permanent friend, no permanent enemy. So any political institution will always create that room for members to be resigning from their party and other people be coming on board. That is the beauty of our democracy. That is one of the moments in politics. We saw that during Weah administration, scores of United Partisans left United Party. In fact, those who were in hierarchy, in fact, there was a fellow who was the chairman, I think for Grand Cayman County, resigned.
Okay.
Resigned and join CDC. All at the end, what happened? United Party won the election. So these things will happen moving forward, especially once you're in opposition. It has been proven, it has been tested. Once you're in opposition, you do not have that sophistication, that financial, capability to sustain, manage all the affairs of a party across the entire country. Even United Party that served for 12 years, when they left power, they better couldn't manage all of the party, not even in our counties.
Yeah.
So one more was CDC that just served for 6 years. So these things will happen, but what matters most is when these things happen, it is upon the party to have this kind of internal reconciliation,
Yeah,
or which the political leader also acknowledge that they're going to reconcile the party. It's great, and that's all I can say for now. So nothing has changed from CDC.
So Joy, what does it say about the CDC? Or this report, they reports about these resignations of senior or the officials of the CDC in some of the counties. At the time, we're talking about the CDC coming back or not coming back. People that resigning. Yes, I agree with we on that. That's a normal political maneuvering or happiness in our society.
Actually, it is not a good sign
for any political
party to lose a member. This trend I'm seeing, I saw in 2017 in the Unity Party.
Yeah.
And the Unity Party lose the election.
That's what we said.
All right. I just maybe, but it didn't happen in 2023.
Yeah.
It happened in 2017. And I agree with some of the things that he said, because as an opposition party, you don't have the financial weight. You may not have financial weight to maintain.
To sustain, yeah.
But if that party, the ruling party, is strong and get the kind of financial weight,
yeah,
and your people resigning is troubling for you, like UP was not because any other party was in power. It was UP against UP. It was the presidency of UP at that time. President Salif was fighting her own system to have a change to bring Jamal which wanted at the time. So those who were her followers that believed in her definitely had to follow her. That was the mass exodus to go from the UP. Mm-hmm. Some ministers, senior ministers and stuff, because they wanted to maintain their job. One or two of them that refused to leave. NATO lied, Zada lied, the Commissioner of Maritime today, and other thing. They fired him. That's not the case today. This one, the CDC will have to do their internal work properly, or else it could be more troubling. One of the things that are troubling about them is the disagreement between, especially in Grand Leader, the disagreement between the party and Zoe Penner, who has been the son of the party, a son of the country that they listen to. It's very influential. So they keep throwing jabs at each other. It has impact. Milner came as a surprise because there is no conflict in the CDC.
Yeah, we never heard about it.
That we heard about it, resigned. So a lot of things will happen. Many more will happen. Resignations will happen for different parties going 2017.
But the guy that resigned from the CDC
the candidate chair
in Grand Jide, he cited the reasons why.
Yes,
some reasons, unfulfilled
promises
to the people of Grand Jide. Yeah. Some of the things the party promised.
He sounded like Zoe, because that's what Zoe keeps saying.
That's what Zoe saying. All that, and those are the reasons. Those are the reasons that.
Sorry, listener.
Yeah, sorry, listeners. Sorry for that. So Zoe Penner, you're talking about Zoe Penner, right?
Yeah.
That the party chairman who resigned decided with Zoe Penner, and so, Mr. Wynn, what do you think about that?
I mean, like I said, these things are normal. They are normal phenomena in politics.
Yeah.
There is nothing strange. There is nothing so big that has happened, that may likely, break the CDC or go against them greatly. No. I just told you, Unity Party will serve as a ruling establishment for 12 years. After that 12 years, the Berikuni maintain.
It can happen to any opposition.
You saw members of Unity Party resigning. Even chairperson of Rural County.
George said that.
So nothing has changed, and there is nothing about negative impact on the party. Like maybe one of the things that Mr. Kennedy said, this will even bring about CDC recalibrating herself.
Do we agree with him that it's not a good sign, whether it's the CDC or the Unity Party or the CPP? It is not a good sign for a member.
Normally, it is not a good sign for any institution for people to resign.
You agree that it's not a good sign. So the number to call.
It doesn't.
All the numbers to call are 0778 460 077-846-0793, 0778-460-793, or 0886-050-507 are the numbers to call to be a part of the conversation here on Prime FM 105. And this is 105.5, and this is the nighttime heat. My name is David Tagway. The panelists are Desmond Wion and Josh Kennedy. We're discussing a wide range of unfolding national developments right here in Liberia. And let me call the numbers again: 077-846-0793, 077-846-0793. Let's take the first caller here. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. This is Mr. Emmanuel Rationalo calling from New Georgia.
Okay, good to hear from you, Mayo.
Yeah, concerning the topic discussion, I agree with the last panelist that just spoke. It's common, but as you rightfully it, it's never a good sign. And to me, if we just relax, however, we just relax, we say it is common. You do not do your homework to recalibrate. It's going to be a very bad sign at the end.
Okay, so it's going to be a bad sign at the end.
Yeah.
So that is to say that it is not a good sign for even one partisan to leave.
Yeah. You don't want to lose. You really don't want to always add up instead of losing, right?
Yeah.
And if you have somebody who is influential, look, let's take it this way. There are people who come on board, who may come on board, may not be so influential like person, more charismatic to a person who able to cajole or bring more to the plate. Then you can all be people filling in the place, but there is nobody indispensable. But
Okay. No one indispensable. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your comments, my brother Emmanuel. Thank you for calling that. You can also call 077-8460-793, 077-8460-793 to be a part of the conversation, and 086-050507. Let's take the other caller. Good evening.
Mr. Tuckman.
Yes, sir. Good evening. What's your name and where you calling from?
Thank you. Let me say good evening to all of the panelists on the panel. So, this is Kwewu William Covey, and I joined this conversation from this city as an executive of the Unity Party Intellectual Bureau. So, let me appreciate all of you for the very talking point. And I think my first talking point will begin with the resignations, the massive resignations.
You call that massive? Just 2% in recent time, one in Maryland and one in how to call it, Grand Jury. Call that massive? You misusing the word. What you call massive? Just 2 persons.
No, that misusing. Maybe you consider in the last 2 days, 2%, right? But look, do you know how many people resign secretly, or even let agree with the two? Do you know how many persons attached to those two individuals? Do you know that they are?
But the word massive that we use is not applicable in this case. 2 persons we're talking about.
Since the defeat of the CDC from 2023 up to current, there has been massive resignation. Then you say, is that massive? Or you think only the last 2 days I'm talking about? No. You know that the Tomo Father left. You know that the Sajus left. You know that the Zobena left. You know that there are lots of lawmakers and even people who are higher rank within the CDC, like kind of Barbara, right? Those people are connected with people. Look, one of those people are about 15 into 1 because they have friends, they have families, they have children. Look, they have people who are connected to them. So when they live with those people who are attached to them. So the war massive is in the right place. The CDC is drowning. In fact, the CDC is a late political party. It is a late political party.
You gotta be careful before.
Yeah, it is a late. So now, I think the second point is the issue about the drug issue. I think we should give it out to this government. Look, on a daily basis, the government is trying to fight drugs in this country to mitigate crime or illicit drugs in this country. Just today, the famous Twitter that the opposition ran with the government grant Twitter, they have released Twitter. Twitter was in prison to Maggie County. Today, she was sentenced to 5 years imprisonment for illegal trafficking of drugs. Can we get that to the government? That's a big boost. So I think this government is doing well when it comes to fighting jobs in this country within a short period of time. So we should give it up to them. What I can tell all Liberians is for us, if you are a patriotic Liberian, you really want Liberia to be on the map. There are more communities of nations out there in terms of
Okay, cool.
economy or whatever thing. Please put your hand behind President Bouaka. Let us support his agenda. This party gave him was a God-sent leader.
I'll say, Mr. Kwewu. Thank you, Mr. Kwewu, for your call. And be like Kwewu and call the two numbers I've just read to you. 077-846-0793, 077-846-0793, and 086-05-0507. Those are the numbers to be to call to be a part of the conversation here. 077-846-0793 or 086-05-0507. Gentlemen, you listen to Desmond. Okay, it's okay. Yeah, good evening, sir. Welcome to the nighttime heat. Yeah. Thank you very much. We have about 2 or 3 minutes to go. So make your point quick.
Thank you very much. Like the caller just left the last massive resignation. Look, the thing the young man couldn't do, the whole family is doing. Come and see the academy. How far it's gone. See the overpass bridges. Look, CDC is the list that the major says. Look, that barrel institute there. Look, they shouldn't waste their time. Look, 2020 now. Can people get wrong campaign? We don't want to representative senator. 2020 now, Mr. Tagwe, I always monitor your show. Just thank you very much. They say the poll is belated now. 2020 now, they are belated. Thank you.
Josh, it's CDC actually belated. We can take 1 or 2 more calls. Let me get your view on the colors point that the CDC is a late party. Do you accept that? Do you believe in? It's an existing political party.
They may not be strong in 2029. They may not be strong.
They may not. So you're not sure. There's a likelihood that they could be strong. Yeah. I understand.
They may not be strong going to 2029, but they may go back and recalibrate and come back strong.
Come back strong.
2029, they may recalibrate. Defeating CDC 2029 does not mean that the party has been erased from Liberia as a political party. So, the mic is off.
Okay, sorry.
You gotta what?
Yeah, but
okay, let me take this one. Good evening. And this is our final call. This is our final call. Caller.
Am I live?
Go ahead, sir.
I want to thank you. There's Josiah for me for running the Congo Bell.
Okay, Josiah. Wow.
Let me say thank you for the shoes. Like Professor Scholar just said. For me, I tell people, and I will continue to say this, I am not worried about 2029. Because this president said to us, he is here for the next generation, not the next election. We saw drugs in this country. Under previous regime, how it was managed in this country. In terms of handling it over the court, working out with it, facing like the government. Today, we can see people in government that made this message to court to answer their questions to what they know about drug issues. Today, wrong connectivities are all across the country. No, we will campaign, we will reach without reach, we will cross it. Like I told my friends, they go will be comparing 6 years to 6 years. When you discuss it, I'll be discussing.
Okay. So thank you very much. Time is not in our favor. Thank you very much. You made your point. Thank you very much. Yeah, okay, thank you, sir. You made your point. That so finally, maybe you can close on this one. Time is not in our favor.
So look,
the CDC there.
I mean, you cannot look at a political.
Okay, let me squeeze in the one. I beg you. Then let me squeeze in there. I think it's the 4th or 5th caller. Good evening. Will some be going? So be brief.
Yeah. Good evening, Mr. Tagwe.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah, I listened to your talking point. Let me make it very short because of the time. My advice to my brother, the former president, will not waste it. I have set very good record in Liberia.
So, looking at you guys are calling you in one room somewhere, right?
No, we are not in one room, but this is a reality. we see what is going on in the country. He has set a good record. He accepted the result. Fine. International community have commended him. But he must not waste his time. The case will remain on the boom. You grab it. Don't follow the boom until you boss it, you get his grade.
Okay. Thank you very much for your point. Okay, Mr. William, please lay on that.
There is, you cannot look at a political institution and say the institution is dead. That has been dismissive. One could look at Unity Party 6 years later, they say, "Oh, Unity Party was dead." Is that a reality? No. So why the Stu CDC as a political party has some issues in terms of reconciliation internally, and that those people you see leaving, mind you, there's a possibility that these people, even the Thomas Farah, the Sir Joseph, there's a possibility that these people can come back. Remember, it has been proven in record time. Sir CDC is the only political party that has in terms of population size, is the biggest political party in terms of number.
That is indisputable.
How will you say the biggest political party won election only one time? So what are you saying? How your strength? What?
So it's a strength that determines.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good argument. But anyway,
how many election you went to? You went 2005, you lose.
We don't have.
You went 2011, you lose.
So you're not a biggest.
You won 2017, you lose 2023. You say you're the biggest.
You're the biggest.
So the party is the biggest.
We disagree with you.
No, I mean really. It was coalition.
No, the coalition came in 2011.
So I'm saying, so 2005 was people voted based on whatever feelings afterwards. So I'm saying,
I'm still disputing your.
You've already said that.
Yeah, my man. I want to say thank you to our many listeners.
Many listeners and viewers, thank you, and then our callers, thank you. I'd like to say thank you to Abraham or Ab, who took care of the technical part of the nighttime. He did Wednesday night's edition. Let's also acknowledge those who have been following us from the start of the show to now. Emmanuel Bro is following from Minneapolis. That is in the United States. Minneapolis is in Minnesota. I think that's the commercial city, or that's the capital city of that. Vinicius G. Bar is following from New Cruton. Ophelia S. George is following from her home, somewhere outside Monrovia. Abraham Vignin is watching from Gardnerville, Monrovia. Sensi, what's the name? Sensi Perry, Sensi Beslow Perry is also watching from Atlanta, the United States of America. Benin K. Zapeje is following from Peace Island, Congo Town, Monrovia. And Hilton Wulejedu is watching from Greenville, all the way in the southeastern region, Sandor County. Thank you for listening. Thank you for viewing. My name is David Tagler. Thanks to my fellow panelists, Josh and Desmond. Moses didn't join us. Moses hasn't joined us since Sobo went on this leave. And also thanks to Sobot and family who are also following the show. Good night, and have a pleasant night rest.